Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. So Sir Javed Aziz is here with Biology Chapter 1, Introduction to Biology, and we have done short question answers. So today we are going to complete this topic because half of the questions we have done in the previous video, and now we will do rest of the questions. So first of all, before starting, I must tell you that students of class pre-9th and 9th, luckily or bad luck, that schools are yet not opened. So we have time. Therefore, I am taking time to complete syllabus. I am not leaving any topic without an explanation. I am not leaving any short question. So I am trying to give you more and more MCQs and short question answers so that we will complete this in a much better way. So when schools will start chapter 1, chapter 2 and all other chapters, you will be fully confident in answering to your teacher in school and plus giving tests and exams. So first of all, we will complete today. Short answers will be completed and the last will be left is long question answers. So long question answer we will do, then by this we will complete chapter number 1 and at once we will jump to chapter number 2. So with this we will start today's topic, chapter number 1, Introduction to Biology, and short question answers. We have done 18 questions in part 1. Now we are starting from 19th, question number 19. Remember students that when I was explaining you chapter number 1, I have explained in detail. So I am reading this and plus explaining you again all these questions. Question number 19 says, what is meant by biophysics? This is relationship between different science subjects. So what is meant by biophysics? It deals with the study of the principles of physics which are applicable to biological phenomena. So those principles of physics which relates to biological phenomena, we call it biophysics. For example, during explanation I told you that there is a similarity between the working principles of liver in physics. In physics we use, in mechanics we use liver, and limbs of animals in biology. They both relate with each other. They have similarity to some extent. Therefore, this type of study, when we compare physics and biology, then it deals with the study of the principles of physics which are applicable to biological phenomena. Then comes define biochemistry. So bio and chemistry. It deals with the study of the chemistry of different compounds and processes occurring in living organisms. So all those chemistry processes that are occurring in living organisms, when we study those, then we say that we are studying biochemistry, not only biology. For example, the study of basic metabolism of photosynthesis. When we will study photosynthesis in junior classes also in 7th and 8th, you have studied photosynthesis and there was a chemical equation that teacher has told you. And respiration also involves the knowledge of chemistry. Inside our body, there are so many chemical changes are occurring. So when we say chemical changes are occurring, it means that we are studying chemistry with the help of biology. Question number 21. What is meant by biogeography? So it deals with the study of the occurrence and distribution of different species of living organism in different geographical regions of the world. So I told you whenever geography comes, so what we will say that it relates with different species that are living in some specific area, some specific geographical region. Like further it says, it applies the knowledge of the characteristics of particular geographical regions to determine the characteristic of living organism found there. When we come to living organism, every area, living organism living in specific area, they have their own feelings, their own way of living. So when we study this by the help of area, then it is called biogeography. Then comes question 22, define biometry. So it deals with the study of biological processes using mathematical techniques and tools. Now, in the beginning, when students after matric, when they have to join in first year, they say I will take pre-medical. So in matric class, why we are studying maths? Oh, maths is everywhere. So when you study biology, then you do some experiment, and for experiment you need calculation. So calculation, you need mathematics. So this relation of biology and mathematics, it is called biometry. For example, to analyze the data gathered after experimental work, when you have done experiment, now you are going to gather the material, the data. So biologists have to apply the rules of mathematics. So this is called biometry. Question 23, bioeconomics. In television you daily hear about this. It deals with the study of organisms from economical point of view. Like, for example, the cost value and profit value of the yield of wheat can be calculated through bioeconomics. Now, once the field is ready, wheat or maize or any cotton, so then we will find the cost value, and we also need to find the profit value. Actually, wheat plant and all these fields, they are living organisms. So when we want to find the cost value of living organism of this plant and the profit value, so for that we need economics. This is the relation between biology and economics, and it is called bioeconomics. Question number 24, define agriculture and discuss role of agriculturist. What is the role of agriculturist who is doing agriculture work? This profession, the profession of agriculture, deals with the food crops and animals which are the source of food. Not only the crops, but only the animals that are used to make that crop, or with the help of animals we are creating crops. We use animals in fields also, plus the animals which are source of food. It gives us meat, milk and all other things. So what is the scope? The second is, we say the discuss role of agriculture. So what is the scope of agriculture? And agriculture work for the betterment of crops like wheat, corn, etc. In beginning there were no such field. So what the farmer, whatever they have learned from their forefathers, they just work on that. But now agriculture is a big scope. So nowadays government is doing this, plus many of the people who have working in agriculture, they go to farmers and they tell them how to grow better crops, how to take better crops, and animals, how to bring animals up so that it will be a better source of food for us. Then question number 25 says, what do you know about horticulture? I told you that horticulture is gardening. So this profession includes the art of gardening. Only this is not a simple gardening process. Basically, horticulture is art of gardening. So first, when the question came to you, what do you know about horticulture? So you have to tell the scope also and adaptation also. The scope of horticulture, a horticulturist, the person who work in horticulture, a horticulturist work for the betterment of existing varieties and for the production of new varieties of ornamental plants and fruit plants. So ornamental plants that are used for decoration and all other. So for decoration, like colorful plants, smelly flowers and all these. So for those plants plus those plants which gives us fruit to eat. So they work for the betterment of these varieties. And adaptation, biology students can adopt this profession after their higher secondary education. So after completing higher secondary education, biology, the students, they can join horticulture department. Question number 26 says, name the professions that can be adopted after bachelor levels of zoology, when you have completed your bachelor level in zoology subject. So following professions can be adopted from after bachelor's level of zoology, that is fisheries department, farming department and forestry department. So after completing, in place of zoology you can say biology, because fisheries, farming and forestry, you can, after completing the bachelor's levels of biology, so here in place of zoology you can change it to biology also. Question 27 says, what is farming? It deals with the development and maintenance of different types of farms. Farms are not only some agriculture farms. For example, in some farms, animal breeding technologies to bring out the new offspring are used for better offspring, are used for the production of better protein and milk source. So, if a cow is giving milk, so better milk production should be done. For that, breeding technologies are used. This is what farming. In poultry farm, chicken and eggs are produced. In fruit farms, different fruit yielding plants are grown. So different fruit farms, so betterment of these, when we work on that, this is called farming. Question number 28 says, name any 4 careers in biology. What careers you can join after completing your biology? Following are the 4 careers in biology. Medicine, you can go to medicine, medical colleges, then surgery, specialize something, fisheries and farming. These are the 4. There are many others we have discussed before, but you can give these 4 names. Then quote a verse from Holy Quran that hints at many places in Holy Quran. Allah hints about the common origin and characteristic of living organisms. So Allah talks about the origin of mankind, the origin of living organisms and their characteristics. So for origin, the verse that Allah Pak has used in Surah Anbiya, verse number 30, He said, we made every living thing from water. That when we were studying science and Quran, I have explained you all this. Then question number 30 says, what are the contribution of Malik Asmai in field of science? We have done this before also. He is considered the first Muslim scientist who studied animals in detail. So his famous book was Al-Abil about camels, Al-Khayl about horses, Al-Wahush about animal, and Khalaqul Insan about human beings. Question number 31 says, describe the services of Jabir Bin Hayan, also a very famous Muslim scientist. Also give names of his 2 famous books. So we know that Jabir Bin Hayan was an Iranian scientist because he was born in Iran and practiced medicine in Iraq. He went to Iraq to practice medicine. He introduced experimental investigation in chemistry and also wrote a number of books on plants and animals. So he wrote many books on plants and animals. His 2 famous books are Al-Nabatat and Al-Hayawan. Then question number 32, name the books written by following scientists. First, Jabir Bin Hayan, Malik Asmai and Bu Ali Sina. So these 3 famous scientists we have done. Jabir Bin Hayan, Al-Nabatat and Al-Hayawan. Malik Asmai wrote about Al-Abil, Al-Khayl and Al-Wahush plus Khalaqul Insan. And Bu Ali Sina has written one most famous book, that is Al-Qanun fil Tib. Question number 33 says, what is the role of Bu Ali Sina in biology? What is the role of Bu Ali Sina in biology? Remember that he is founder of medicine, so he is honored as the founder of medicine and called as Avicenna in the West. The Western people, they call him Avicenna still. He was also a physician, philosopher, astronomer and poet. He was also a physician, philosopher, astronomer and poet. The last question, 34, it says define an atom and also tells its meaning. What is the meaning of atom? So atom is defined as simplest form of matter which cannot be further subdivided. Then we say it is composed of, we say it is not further cannot be subdivided, but it has 3 fundamental particles, that is electrons, protons and neutrons. Or meaning of atom is a means not and tom means cut. So atom means not cut, it means further not subdivided. Question number 35 says differentiate between micromolecules and macromolecules. We have studied when we were studying the topics, when I was explaining you topics, we have done micro and macromolecules. Micromolecules says the biomolecules with low molecular weight. When biomolecules, they are less in molecular weight, then we call it micromolecule, that is glucose and water. and macromolecules with high molecular weight. Then we call it the biomolecules with high molecular weight is called macromolecules, and in that we say starch, protein and lipids. So glucose and water is micromolecule, starch, protein and lipid are macromolecules. Then question number 36 says, define tissue and give example. So we know about tissue that when similar cells combine together, they form a tissue. Similar cells performing similar functions are organized into group, and that group is called tissue. So similar cells performing similar functions are organized into group called tissues. For example, in plants there is epidermal tissue and ground tissue, and in animals there are nervous tissue and muscular tissue. Question number 37 says, differentiate between vegetative and reproductive organs of plant. When I was explaining you mustard plant, I have told you, when we say reproductive organ, then flower is the reproductive organ. And when we say vegetative organ, then there is root, stem, leaves, branches, all these are vegetative organs. So when question arises that differentiate between vegetative and reproductive organ of plants, then we say about vegetative, we say the organs which do not take part in the sexual reproduction of the plant. It means that only vegetative processes are going on. Then we say that these parts are called vegetative organs. Again listen, the organs which do not take part in the sexual reproduction of the plant are called vegetative organs. For example, root, stem, branches and leaves. And reproductive organ, the organ which take part in the sexual reproduction of the plant. Sexual reproduction of the plant to bring a new offspring and produce fruits and seeds, and also produce fruit and seeds. These are called reproductive organs. For example, flower. Then I have told you write the scientific names of mustard plant and frog. Remember, whenever we are writing scientific names or biological name, we always write in this form. It starts with a capital letter, then there is no capital letter, either it is 2, and without underline, then you have to underline it. This is the way to write the scientific name or biological name. So I have told you 4 scientific names. I have told you about human and cat also, but there he said at least he has asked you for mustard plant and frog. So scientific name of mustard plant is Brassica campestris, and scientific name of frog is Rana tigrina. And if you remember, I have told you about cat, that is Felis domesticus, and human being, when we talk about human being, it says Homo sapien. So I hope that all these 38 questions that I have explained you, so you have understood it, and now I hope and I expect from you that you will memorize all these short questions. These are very important for your examination plus class tests and all these things. Plus for understanding you have to memorize. With that I will end, and thank you for watching. The first thing is you have to please subscribe my channel. This is my request, that if you think that Sir Javed is doing some hard work for you, so please subscribe my channel, and for you yourself press the bell icon. I again repeat, when you press the bell icon, it means that the new video that I will upload, it will directly come to you. So you will get the intimation for that. And at the end I will repeat again, if you want written notes, you can write in comments. I will contact you, and inshallah I can also provide you notes if you want it in written form. Otherwise you can pause the video and you can take the screenshots, or you can note it down of your own. So thank you very much for watching. Love you all and take care. Allah Hafiz.